They laughed the moment the human walked into the chamber. Not quietly, not politely. They howled. Dozens of alien cadets, towering, armored, biologically enhanced, sat in the amphitheater of the Galactic Survival Academy. Some had exoskeletons, thicker than starship hulls. Others breathed methane, acid, or plasma. Every one of them had been raised on worlds far harsher than anything they believed Earth could offer. And then there was him. A single human. No claws, no armor, no visible weapons, just soft skin, fragile bones, and a neutral expression. "This is a Deathworld species?" One of the Cathari students hissed, its mandibles clicking in amusement. "It looks like it would shatter under standard gravity fluctuations." Another, a hulking Bravok with 4 arms, leaned forward. "I've seen nutrient gel tougher than that creature." More laughter. At the center of the chamber stood Instructor Vale, an ancient being whose species had survived 3 extinction-level events. He raised a hand, but even he didn't silence them immediately. Instead, he watched. The human didn't react. No anger. No embarrassment. No attempt to defend itself, just stillness. That, more than anything, should have been the warning. "Cadets," Vale finally said, voice cutting through the noise like a blade. "Today's lesson is practical." The chamber shifted. Walls dissolved into holographic projection. A landscape materialized, lush, green, and deceptively peaceful. "Earth," Vale continued. "Classified. Tier 9 Deathworld." The laughter returned, louder this time. "Vegetation?" One cadet scoffed. "Water systems? Moderate temperatures? This is a sanctuary world." Vale's eyes flicked toward the human. "Is it?" The simulation deepened. Sound flooded in. Wind through leaves, distant animal calls, the hum of insects. "Your objective," Vale said, "is simple. Survive for 1 hour." The Bravok slammed a fist into its palm. "Against what?" "That?" It pointed at the human. Vale shook his head slowly. "No." The environment changed. The sky darkened. Slightly. The wind picked up. The once peaceful forest shifted. Subtle, almost imperceptible. But wrong. "You will be deployed individually," Vale said. "No weapons beyond standard field gear. No external support." "And the human?" a Cathari asked. Vale's gaze hardened. "The human is part of the environment." Silence. Confusion. Then more laughter. The first cadet lasted 7 minutes. It was the Bravok. Confident, aggressive, unstoppable, on paper. The moment it landed, it roared, asserting dominance. Trees shook from the force of its voice. Birds scattered. Smaller creatures fled. It grinned. "See?" It muttered into the recorder. "Primitive. Ecosystem. No apex threat detected." Something moved. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a shift. The Bravok turned. Too slow. A blur struck from above. Not large, not armored, not monstrous, but precise. Pain exploded across its neck as something bit down and vanished before it could retaliate. The Bravok roared, swinging wildly, but there was nothing to hit. Blood. Its blood dripped onto the ground. "Predator identified," it growled. "Engaging." The ground beneath it collapsed. A trap, spikes, primitive, sharpened wood, drove into its legs. Not deep enough to kill, just enough to immobilize. Then silence again. No attack, no follow-up, just waiting. The Bravok's breathing grew heavier. Minutes passed. Then it heard it. Footsteps, soft, controlled, deliberate. The human stepped into view, unarmed, calm, watching. The Bravok snarled. "You did this?" No answer. The human tilted his head slightly, observing, analyzing. Then, without a word, he picked up a stone and threw it. Not at the bravak. At a branch above. The branch snapped, triggering another hidden mechanism. A weighted log swung down, smashing into the bravak's torso with bone-crushing force. The simulation ended. The second cadet lasted 12 minutes. The third, 5. By the 6th attempt, the laughter was gone. By the 10th, fear had taken its place. Each scenario was different. Sometimes it was the environment. Poisonous plants, unstable terrain, sudden weather shifts. Sometimes it was the creatures, small, fast, venomous, relentless. And sometimes it was the human, always watching, always adapting, never stronger, never faster, just smarter. Finally, only one cadet remained, a Cathari, cold, calculated, silent. It entered the simulation without arrogance. Good. It moved carefully, analyzing patterns, avoiding obvious hazards, tracking subtle signs. For a while, it worked. 20 minutes passed, then 30, the longest yet. The Cathari allowed itself a small sense of triumph. Primitive threats, it whispered. Predictable. Behind it, a twig snapped. The Cathari spun. Nothing. It scanned the area, still nothing. Its sensors detected no movement, no heat signatures, no anomalies. But something felt wrong. The forest had gone quiet. Too quiet. Then it realized it wasn't being hunted. It was being herded. A sudden burst of motion, small animals fleeing, in one direction. The Cathari turned and stepped directly into mud that wasn't mud. Quicksand. It sank instantly, struggled. Too late. From the edge of the clearing, the human appeared again. Same calm expression, same silent observation. The Cathari hissed, trying to free itself. Fight me! The human didn't move, didn't speak, just watched, as the environment did the work, slowly, inevitably. The simulation ended at 42 minutes. A record. Still a failure. The chamber reformed. No one laughed. No one spoke. Vale stepped forward. You believed strength defined survival, he said quietly. You believed durability, weapons, and size made you superior. He gestured toward the human. Earth is not a death world because it is the strongest. A pause. It is a death world because everything is trying to kill you. And nothing fights fair. The human finally spoke. His voice was calm, almost gentle. On Earth? He said, you don't win by being the biggest. The cadets watched him, truly watched him, for the first time. You win, he continued, by being the one who understands the game, before anyone else realizes they're playing. Silence filled the chamber. Heavy, uncomfortable, real. The bravak, now fully recovered, looked at the human with something new in its eyes. Not mockery, not arrogance, respect. You didn't hunt us, it said slowly. The human met its gaze. No. A faint, almost invisible smile appeared. You walked into it yourselves. And for the first time since the lesson began, no one laughed. The ground didn't just shake, it breathed. A deep, rhythmic vibration rolled through the forest, subtle at first, then unmistakable. Leaves trembled, branches creaked. Even the air felt heavier. Every cadet froze. The bravak clenched its fists. That's not environmental. No, the human said quietly. It's alive. A distant sound echoed, not a roar, not a scream. Something worse. A low, resonant clicking, like bones grinding together. The Cathari's sensors flared. Mass. Detected. Large. Extremely large. How large? Another cadet asked. The human didn't answer immediately. He was listening, watching, calculating. Big enough, he finally said, that you won't get a second mistake. Something moved between the trees. Fast, too fast for its size. A shadow, massive, distorted, slipped past the edges of their vision. Then it was gone. The cadets instinctively, grouped together, weapons half raised, instincts screaming at them to fight. Form defensive circle, the Bravok barked. They obeyed instantly. Tight formation, overlapping lines of sight, maximum coverage, safe, predictable, wrong. Break formation, the human said. No one moved. Did you not hear me? The Bravok snapped. I heard you, the human replied calmly. That's why I said break it. The Cathari hesitated. Why would we separate against a superior predator? The human's eyes flicked toward the trees. Because right now, he said, you're acting like prey. The clicking sound came again. Closer. This time, they saw it. Just for a second. A limb, long, jointed, armored in natural plating, wrapped, briefly around a tree trunk, then vanished. The trunk snapped like brittle glass. Silence followed. Heavy, oppressive. Then, one of the smaller cadets screamed. It was gone before anyone could react. No struggle, no warning, just gone. The formation broke instantly. Panic spread. Where did it go? Someone shouted. Above. The human snapped. Too late. Another blur dropped from the canopy, impossibly fast, snatching a second cadet and dragging it screaming into the trees. Blood rained down in thin, silent droplets. The forest went still again. Listen to me. The whole human's voice cut through the chaos. Not loud, but absolute. If you run, you die. If you group, you die. If you panic, we get it, the Bravok roared. Then what do we do? The human looked at each of them. Really looked. Now, he said, you learn why Earth is a death world. He crouched, grabbing a handful of dirt. Everything here is a weapon, he said. You just don't see it yet. Another click. Closer. The human moved instantly. Spread out. 10 meters apart. Stay within sight, but not within reach. This time, they obeyed. Fear had replaced arrogance. The creature struck again. It came from the ground this time, bursting upward beneath a cadet, jaws snapping shut. But it hit nothing. A trap. A shallow pit, disguised hastily with foliage. The creature crashed into it, momentum disrupted for just a second, and for the first time, they saw it clearly. It was massive, six-limbed, layered in natural armor, eyes too many to count, each reflecting movement from different angles. Its body shifted as it moved, adapting, flexing, correcting. Perfect predator. The Bravok hesitated. We can't kill that. The human didn't look at it. Correct. The creature began to pull itself free. Fast. Too fast. Then what? We don't kill it, the human said. He stood up slowly. We survive it. Move, he ordered. They scattered. Not randomly, but deliberately. Now. Each step chosen. Each movement controlled. The creature lunged after one target. But another cadet triggered a falling branch, redirecting it. Then another used terrain to break line of sight. Then another. They weren't fighting anymore. They were thinking, adapting, learning. Minutes passed. Then more. The creature didn't stop, didn't tire, didn't hesitate. But neither did they. Not anymore. Finally, the human raised a hand. Stop. The cadets froze, confused, exhausted, terrified. The forest went quiet. The creature was gone. Just like that. The simulation dissolved. The chamber returned. Silence filled the room. Heavy breathing, shaking limbs, wide, stunned eyes. No one spoke. Not for a long time. Instructor Vale stepped forward. For the first time, he said slowly, you did not try to dominate the death world. His gaze swept across them. You adapted to it. The Bravok looked at the human, not with fear, not even just respect anymore, something deeper. We weren't the hunters, it said quietly. The human shook his head. No. A small pause. Then, on Earth? You're never the hunter. The Cathari swallowed. Then what are we? The human's expression didn't change, but his eyes did. You're the one trying, he said, not to become the next mistake. And this time, no one needed to laugh to understand.